Greetings one and all, this is Rhythmworks and welcome to my channel. Wow, it only seems like yesterday everybody was wishing everybody a happy new year. The month is almost over. We're all to-ing and froing from PS3 to PS4. But I'm just going to basically give my opinion, my personal opinion as to the game of the year 2013. And it's between these bad boys. On the left, Naughty Dog's The Last of Us, and on the right, Rockstar Games' Grand Theft Auto 5. It was a two-horse race for me, and there was one clear winner, and I'll explain why. First of all, The Last of Us. Okay, now Naughty Dog is a name that I can trust. I can trust with the games that they're going to put out, and I can trust them with my hard-earned money that I'm going to part to buy those games. Even Uncharted, that's going to come out on the PS4, there's no doubt that millions of people are going to buy that game. But anyway, I digress. When Naughty Dog put out the trailer for The Last of Us, it just had a quality about it that reminded me somewhat of Resident Evil, but more grown up. Do you know what I mean? And they had started putting out trailer videos for the game, like, must have been at least 9 months before release date. And they had features in a lot of gaming events, obviously, and a lot of corporate electronic shows as well. And it was just phenomenal, you know, the response of the people in various venues. And that was basically an indication as to the importance and the greatness of the game. Nobody had a clue what the multiplayer aspect was going to be like, you know. And for me, it didn't even really matter at that point because I was just so engaged with the gameplay and even more so with the story. Okay, I admit the ending was a little bit naff, but they can be forgiven for, you know, minor errors on that point. I mean, overall, the game was just fantastic to play. But then going into the multiplayer, it just reminded me how fun teamwork can be. You know, it can be deemed as a survival horror, it can be deemed as whatever, you know, but for me, this was the game that really had me enjoying teamwork. Now, for some people that plays this game on a multiplayer level, they just run and gun and what have you with no mics and stuff like that. And for me, it's not enjoyable. Do you know what I mean? You know, you can have a Ferrari, but doesn't mean you have to basically drive at 150 miles an hour to enjoy it. You know what I mean? You can go in cruise control as well, sort of thing. And that's what this game is, you know, in a metaphorical sense. But the multiplayer is a very strategic part of the game, which I've not seen in many shoot 'em up, beat 'em ups, or whatever you want to call it. And I really enjoyed this game. You know, I thought it was a game that was going to be hard to beat for Game of the Year. And for me, it's one of the games that kept and is keeping the PS3 alive. Also with the DLC that's going to be coming out, Left Behind, which focuses on Ellie and her friend as a prequel to the whole experience that we have all experienced within The Last of Us. And next up, Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, admittedly, when Grand Theft Auto 4 came out, I played as much of it as I possibly could, but then I got bored with it and I decided to cheat the game, which wasn't very sensible of me to do because obviously I didn't get the full enjoyment of the game. But with the impending release of Grand Theft Auto 5, just the whole look of it just looked amazing to me. There was so much else to do within the game as such, and everything had improved from what I saw of the trailer, the actual gameplay trailers. Now, the biggest thing was that, you know, the game in itself, the story mode, was great. You know, I had a blast playing it. But Rockstar decided with their infinite wisdom to release the multiplayer section of the game 2 weeks later, and when they finally did, it didn't work. There were people going on Rockstar's social club site and cursing out the people, you know, and the problem wasn't fixed for a long time. And Rockstar decided in their infinite wisdom to donate 400,000 in-game dollars as a mark of compensation to their disgruntled fans and what have you. And for me, you know, it just showed the sign of a game that wasn't complete. I mean, you know, I understand the marketing value of basically, you know, trying to get people hooked onto the game, in getting them to know the full game, the full workings of the game before they actually go into the multiplayer and stuff, and have them baying for multiplayer action. But if you're gonna do that, just make sure the multiplayer thing is available to everybody. And that's where Rockstar failed. You know, as the great orator Jay-Z said, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. Yeah, I agree, but you know, in this matter, you know, it just basically told a lot of bullshit, you know, in terms of what the game was basically offering. And for me, it wasn't a fulfilling experience, put it that way. But I still love the game, no doubt about it. And now we come to the judge's decision. This judge's decision, the decision that basically rates the game overall in my living room, in my PS3 system. And it goes to Booyah, The Last of Us. I mean, come on now. You know, what is not right with the game? It came out as a full game. Story, multiplayer, argument done. Grand Theft Auto came out as half a game. So The Last of Us as a unit, as an entire game in its entirety, and the contents within it and the gameplay value, massive. People gave it 10, people gave it 9.5, people gave it legendary status, people gave it all-time favorite, what have you. But you've got to say that this game is one of the best games that has been released within the last 10 years, and definitely is my game of the year 2013. I thank you. Megan.